Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Craft of the Titans. So I hope you guys are having a great day. Today we are going to be working on IC2 and the Wither as well, but I was thinking, and I was looking, and I'm going to try something before we jump straight into automating the Wither. There might be a better way to do this, because bear in mind that when we did the Wither before, we had to be very, very cautious with the size. Oh, I don't want to go there. With the size of his blast radius. And so that's something we have to take into concern. And I was thinking and I was looking. And we can also, if we wanted to, we could get nether stars. Right here in the molecular transformer as well. With wither skulls. One wither skull, 15 million EU, makes a nether star. So I would like to get into the molecular transformer today. As well as some other IC2 stuff, and see how that would fare with making nether stars. I'm not for sure if there's any kind of like a singularity nether star generator, terraformer. Okay, I don't see there being a nether star singularity or anything of that nature. So as far as our nether stars go, it seems like it's mainly going to be tied to the care packages, which does seem like there's going to be a lot, because it jumped from, was it 25 to 250? So probably a few thousand of them by the time we get to the end of it. But I would like to see how the molecular transformer fares in that situation, like dealing with that. So what we're going to do, let's start off with IC2 today. And what I want first up is I want to go ahead and automate transformer upgrades. Because that's something that we're going to be needing a lot of moving forward, and they're actually very easy to automate. They do require these MV transformers, which I don't believe our system knows how to make just yet. It does not. What about gold cable? Okay, it doesn't know how to make gold cable either. This is the 2 times insulated, so let's go ahead and teach it this recipe. And we're going to need to teach it how to make gold cable. That's just gold ran through the metal former. Yeah. And needs to be set to extruding. Okay. So let's grab a piece of that. And we're going to make a quick recipe here. We're going to say if you take gold and you run it through the metal former that's set to extruding, that you're going to get 4 gold cables. Okay, another thing I'd like to get today is overclockers, because that's something that we're definitely going to need as we move forward. Because, like I said, I mean, there's a lot of IC2 within this pack, and I figured it's long overdue that we really start diving into IC2. And really what we need to do here isn't going to be that bad, I don't feel like. But it is something that we need to get into. Okay, so let's go ahead and tell this. If you take basic machine casing and insulated copper cable, that gets you an MV transformer. And that should be all the automation we have to do in terms of the transformer upgrade. Go ahead and throw that stuff in there. And let's go ahead and order ourselves, let's say 10 transformer upgrades. Can you make all of that stuff? You can. Awesome. And let's get ourselves some gold ingots here. I still haven't set up the crafters. We're actually starting up shortly after the last episode, or shortly after the speed build, I should say. But crafters are the next thing on my agenda. I'm just kind of debating if I want to set them up in that tower with the essence farms, or if I want to set them up. This is interesting because it doesn't even show like the singularities being created in the compactor or the compressor. So I don't know. But anyways, if we take a look at the actual IC2 quest line, they want us to make 32 coal chunks because they say that diamonds are rare and you should make coal chunks to make diamonds. Totally not going to do that. There's really no point at all in doing that. But I wouldn't mind getting this quest knocked out while we're waiting. So what we're going to need is a bunch of crushed coal around flint. And I believe, can we order... Yeah, we can order pulverized coal. Let's go ahead and order like 192 of it and get that running. And then the next thing that I'm going to want while those transformer upgrades are running is I'm going to want some kind of power storage for IC2. And I think... See, I really wouldn't mind going for the Mfsu. Takes Lapotron crystals, an MFE, advanced circuit, advanced... None of this is difficult. We've already taught our system how to make all this stuff. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and automate the process of making an Mfsu. Energy crystals, 2 times insulated gold cable, sounds good, there you go. And then the Mfsu, there you go. Okay. And we should be able... We'll find out here in a second, but I think I could probably just order an Mfsu now without any kind of difficulties. Looks good. Alright. So we'll go ahead and get that going, because I think I'm going to toss this stuff. We're going to be moving into tier 4 power instead of tier 1. So let's take a look at those transformers. We have 7 of them so far. And let's see. Another thing that I think I want... Let me pop over here. It's not something that we have to automate, but one thing that I do want to grab real quick is the EU reader from IC2. Let's go ahead and grab that. I'm also going to need a basic circuit, or electronic circuit. And then we'll probably start getting into making some overclockers just to speed up all of our IC2 machinery. It's definitely something that we're going to need moving forward, I think. Now, granted, I could just order a molecular transformer right now. With our uncommon runes, get 2 of those and set those up and see how they do. But I want to do a couple things before we get into that. So I'm not entirely sure where we're going to place these molecular transformers. Oh, it made one and then it threw it into the... Okay, we're going to have to let that run for a minute, I think. Oh yeah, that's making lapis for the Mfsu right now. What's this thing doing right now? Making copper. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. While we're waiting on that, another thing that we are going to need is solar evaporation stuff. I can't think of what it's called. Solar distillers. Okay, I'll tell you what. We've got tons of diamond, tons of all this stuff now. I think we have lots of mithril. Not a lot. I don't think I have mithril seeds yet. Are there mithril seeds? No, it actually looks like there's not mithril seeds, which is fine. I mean, I'm not using a ton of this stuff. But let's go ahead and make ourselves just a few blocks of mithril so that we've got them. And what we might do later is set up like an RF Tools dimension to get mithril. Any kind of thing like that that we don't automatically have coming in. And I'll tell you what, we're going to automate reinforced large drums. And we're going to automate demonically gargantuan drums. And... I think to start, what I want is I want one of those demonically gargantuan drums. We're missing Klein bottles. Okay, so we do need to automate Klein bottles. That's fine. It's not a problem. And while I'm at it, let's go ahead and automate glass bottles in case we run out of those. Because I don't believe that I have glass bottles automated. It does not look like it. Okay. Alright, so let's get ourselves a drum, and we're going to set it up upstairs where our liquids are being stored. And actually, it's probably going to take a minute because it has to make those dense gold plates. So while we're waiting, let's go ahead and get ourselves some solar distillers. Now, of course, there's a couple different ways we can make distilled water, either through this or through the steam thing. I can't think of what it's called. But in my experience, the solar distiller is more than enough for making... the overclockers. You know, as long as you do like a decent sized setup, it's going to be fine. So let's get that. Let's go ahead and get universal fluid cells automated. I don't think those are automated. They are already automated. Okay. Well, we'll throw that in there. This one, I could put it in there and change it over. I just don't care. So we're going to put it right there. And let's order ourselves then just a few solar distillers. Let's say 20 to start with. Okay, and it looks like we've got everything, so we'll go ahead and get that ordered. I'm also going to want to get a sink. So there we go, there's our sink. And then let's get some conduits as well. And we'll get this automated. Pressurized fluid's going to be fine. It's only moving one fluid. So far it's made one solar distiller. Let's go ahead and grab that. And to set this up, I think we are going to put it upstairs. I don't know if I want it on top of this building. Because it is going to need to see the sun. I guess I could put it on top of that building. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Let's put it over here on top of Lag City. Because it actually doesn't lag too bad on the top here, as you can tell. Still lags a little bit, but not as bad. What we're going to do is we are going to put it... I'm actually going to break this open here. Actually, you know what I could do? I could just tap into the sinks below this and use those. Not going to, but I could. And we are going to set up our pressurized fluid conduits. Come on now. You can do it. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. I didn't think it was going to lag this bad on top of here. Okay, so we're going to set those up like that, and then let's put our sink just right below this. And we are going to say that you can extract, always active. Okay, so that's all filled up with water now. And then we'll just put our solar distillers right here on top. That's going to start pumping water into those. And once the sun comes up, let me go sleep real quick. But I figured I want something on top of that building, and solar distillers aren't going to take us too long to set up. So we'll just set it up over there. But basically I just want this running all the time, pumping into a drum, so we always have distilled water. Okay, and then we'll start converting that over to IC2 coolant, store the IC2 coolant, and then, you know, go from there with it, I think. Alright, so our solar distillers, we have 6 more of them. And I'll tell you what, while we're at it, let me get an ender tank. Do I have them automated in this pack? Looks like no. But I do have one on hand that I'm not using. And we'll get some lapis. I think I'm going to use a lapis blue colored line to move this. And we'll put the ender tank like right here, I think. And we'll do, this is the blue, white line. Okay. And we'll set up the rest of our solar distillers. I do apologize about this lag. I think this will probably be the last time on camera that we actually work in or around this tower. I am debating about switching over to the thermodynamics conduits. Simply due to the fact that, I mean, I love the way the conveyors look, but we are moving a lot of items in there, like a ridiculous amount of items, and it's not keeping up. And I don't know. It wouldn't take too long to change it all over, and it would definitely cut down the lag. Now, I will say the top part I'm probably not going to change over because I don't think, anyway. We'll see. We'll kind of see. We'll play it by ear. Because before, the top part wasn't really laggy on its own. Not terribly so. But it's when I added that bottom part with the 50,000 essences running. And the crazy thing is all the essences aren't even plugged up yet. So that is kind of a concern. Actually, will this run with conduits on top of it? I do not know. Yes, it's still running. Okay, good. Technically, it's supposed to be able to see the sun. But that seems to be good enough. Alright, we're going to set all these to extract. Always active. Okay, so let's get out of this place. There we go. That lag is real. Alright, let's see if our drum is done now. It's still not done. Looks like we've got the reinforced one right now, but it's not, it should be able to just make those demon ingots. I don't know why it's having an issue with those. And you've got everything that you need. Right here. 1 gold ingot equals 1 demon ingot. There's an iron dropper right here. Unless maybe it's wanting a filter now. Let me check this. I see it's making it. I don't know why it's having issues with it. I have no clue, because it crafts it fine. It must just have had a hiccup or something, or I have no clue. Alright, so this I'm going to cancel, because that's done, actually. Okay. Let's grab our drum. And let's grab ourselves a storage bus. External storage. And we're going to set this up over here next to our creosote. We'll do... Let me pop underneath this, actually. We'll set that there. Let's get our external storage. Actually, before I do that, before I hook that up, let me get one more ender tank, because we're going to have to set up our distilled water actually coming into here. And I tell you what, let me go ahead and automate it while we're at it. So we'll set this up like right there. We are going to set it to blue, blue, white. So there's our distilled water. And we'll go ahead and set it to automatically output. Okay, so we're steadily, you can see we're steadily getting millibuckets of distilled water. And as we add more solar distillers, of course, that's going to speed up. But distilled water is very, very effective. Making the overclockers, you can make IC2 coolant with standard water, but you have to use 8 lapis dust instead of just 1 lapis dust. So I figured distilled water is easy enough to set up. We're just going to go ahead and do it. Okay, so we're going to set this up to, let's see, fluids. And then let me get a, let me grab a bucket. I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and just order, oh, I can't order a bucket, okay. And actually our solar distillers are done. Let me run over there and let me plug these up. I'm going to do it off camera just because the lag's so bad over there. Okay, so now you can see, I mean, it's jumping up a bit quicker, right? Let me go ahead and configure this storage bus. And we're going to say, you are configured to store distilled water, priority of 10, set it, okay. Alright, so we've got 1.5 buckets of distilled water thus far. And now what we need to do is actually start producing IC2 coolant. And what we're going to want to make our overclockers, to make these in mass, we are going to want coolant cells and, let's see, how do we want to do it? Do we want to do the 10Ks? Really, I think it's cheaper on resources, aside from some copper cable and electronic circuits. It's actually cheaper just to go with the 10Ks, because they require 4 10 plates, but if you start upgrading them, then you have to add additional 10 plates, and then additional 10 plates and iron plates. Like, it's just, it's less work to just go ahead and do 10Ks. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and automate this recipe. Okay. We're not ready to actually utilize it just yet. But we'll also automate the 10 plate recipe. This one, does it not? Okay. May not be able to do that, I don't know. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to run this stuff through the fluid solid canning machine. So let's set it to fluid enrich. And then what I want to do is, let's get ourselves a crafter. And we're also going to need some of that lapis dust. So let's go ahead and order one of those. Okay, so there's that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to set up a quick recipe here. We're going to say if you take lapis dust and you send it over here. Let me rotate this thing. And we're going to tell this to also send 1 empty universal fluid cell. Okay. And then let's pop around to the back side here. And realistically, I'm probably going to run out of space for this, I think. I'll figure something out. We're going to set up an exporter here. We're going to say that you can export fluids, and I want you to export that distilled water. Okay. So we'll grab a bucket of that. And we'll throw this into the exporter. Okay, so that's starting to fill up with distilled water. Awesome. Awesome. And then what we can do is we can just throw in our lapis dust and our universal fluid cell. And that's going to start running. And there we go. We got ourselves a universal fluid cell with IC2 coolant in it, which is what we want. I don't know if we really need to store the IC2 coolant in a drum or just order it, have it to order kind of a thing. Probably to order, honestly. And then we'll just go ahead and throw this into the crafter. There we go. And then I would like to... Honestly, I need more spice. I need another side on this. I'll tell you what, we'll put the importer on the side over here. It can't be helped. Plus, this room's just for this kind of stuff, so I don't mind. I don't think it's the first time we've had to do this, but we'll put the cable right there, and there we go. So now we can actually pull that out, and it should be sending distilled water as it gets it. Right now it's nighttime. Let me go sleep real quick. This is one of those things that, like, when you first start out, when you first get it automated, you're like, man, this is going to take forever because I need distilled water, and it's taking a long time to get enough to make, like, a single set of overclockers. However, it's something that just keeps building up, and the next time you look at it, you're like, oh, okay, I don't need any more of this, in fact. Let me go ahead and dump that. Can I not? Oh, that's IC. Never mind. That's IC2 fluid. There you go. There's 1,000 millibuckets. We're going to go ahead now, and... Let's see, is this running yet? Actually, let me go ahead and order... let's order like 5 more of these. Yeah, that'd be enough for 6 of the sails. So at least gets the lapis ready to go, and then as soon as it gets the coolant, it'll be ready. Okay, so next up, what we need to do is teach it to take... let me teach it how to make that 10K coolant. So there we go. It's not encoding it. There we go. When I put this one in there, it's like, oh, okay, that coolant cell, I guess. Alright. So we'll put that into there, and now we should be able to order this. I'm going to let this... yeah, see, we've got 2 universal fluid cells right now. Where's it at on fluid? It's not too far before we get our first we craft our first set of overclockers, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, so while that stuff's running, now that we've got that stuff done, let's check on our transformer upgrades. Those are done. And I tell you what, I've actually got a few machines, because I'm going to want to jump up to tier 4 power, like here in just a second. Increase energy input tier by 10. Oh yeah, I was going to get a EU Raider. Let me get that real quick. That just makes life a bit easier, in my opinion. Okay, so for right now, let me go ahead and order 2 more of these, because we'll do, like, should be 3 transformer upgrades per machine, because this is a tier 1. Now it's a tier 2, a tier 3, a tier 4. And then again over here. Again over here. Now we just need those last 2 transformers. And it looks like it made that last coolant cell. So let's order an overclocker. It should be able to craft this now. Should. I think it's making 10 plates. That's what it's doing. Transformers. Still waiting on those. What's it doing right now? Oh, insulated copper cables, electronic circuits. Then for the overclockers... yeah, it's crafting this stuff. Okay. Alright, our transformers are done. Let's go ahead and throw them into our fluid solid canning machine. And there we go. Now all 4 of our machines should be able to accept power from our Mfsu. So then let's grab this. Power tier 4. And are our overclockers done? No, they're still working on them. There we go. And we got 2 overclockers. Okay, now for the MFSU, we're going to have to upgrade cables. And I think we're going to go up to glass fiber cable. I do believe. Takes Energium dust, pulverized silver, glass. We'll go ahead and teach it that. I imagine we're probably going to have to teach it pulverized silver. So we'll just grab a piece of that. We'll throw it into our processing table. Actually, let me clear this out. There we go. And I guess we're going to run this just through the double crusher, I suppose. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but I mean, I don't mind waiting 5 seconds to get glass fiber cable either, so. Alright, we'll put that into there, and there we go. That's set up. Now, I mean, I guess we've got a sag mill right here that I could have used. I'll tell you what, I've got that silver still on me. Let's order some glass fiber cable. Let's get 10 of it. Is it... Okay, it's making the diamonds. It may have already made the silver. The sag mill is like super fast with... Yeah, see, it's already made the silver. Okay, never mind. Okay, there's our glass fiber cable. And speaking of those coal chunks, did I ever... we were going to make the compressed coal balls. Let's see. We need... Oh, God, they want us to make 32 of these things. This is going to take forever. Because it's 8. It's like a stack. Oh, my God. So I'll tell you what. We're going to go ahead and automate it just for this quest, honestly. Because I have no interest in making diamonds this way. I really, really don't, but... Oh, I hate how you can't make things in this. Okay, we're going to say that if you take a coal ball and you send it into the compressor, you're going to get something. Won't be so bad once we get some overclockers in this stuff. And then let's go ahead and flip this over. There's that recipe. And there's our first compressed coal ball. So we're going to go ahead and put this into here. We'll encode that. Throw it in the compressor. Oh, 32 of those. That's just insane. And like I said, I have no interest whatsoever in making diamonds this way. Like, we have at the moment 163 diamonds, 4.5 thousand essence. So, okay. And then we'll teach it this recipe right here. That's fine. And we'll go ahead and throw that into there. Okay. So that's done. Let me go ahead and order... Actually, I wonder if they're going to want me to craft it. Surely not. I'm just going to order like 10 of these. We'll get it going and then we'll see. Okay, so now we're ready to change over this power system. We no longer need this. This generator, honestly, I'm just going to break it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to snap it in half. Go ahead and break off these like little dinky cables. And... we'll go ahead and remove all of this too. The exporter can go. The resonator can go. We are done with that generator. And I'm just going to throw all this stuff into there. Alright. So now what we need to do is we need to set up our MFSU. And we're going to put it right here. Okay, we're going to have the power coming out the bottom. And insert power on these sides here. And we'll go ahead and slip behind here for just a brief second. Let me get a flux point. And we're just going to connect this up. Right here we're going to say connect to primary power network. And there we go. It's starting to fill up extremely fast. Extremely fast. How's our power... Yeah, I mean, we're pulling out a bunch, but we're making up for what we're pulling out, so. And that MFSU is just about filled now. So, there we go. RF to EU. And by the way, a big thank you to Guybrush for pointing that out. Like, I knew flux networks could transfer EU, and I knew that the generators could create EU, but I did not realize that you could just pump RF into the flux network and it would just create EU. So really, really nice. And I did check on the conversion rate, and the conversion rate's actually not that bad either. It's reasonable. So now we've got an MFSU with 40 million EU. No problem at all. Okay? And I tell you what, I think what we're going to do, let me plug up these machines first. We're just going to run our fiber cable over, just like that. And now these machines have more power. We've also got these overclockers here. For right now, I'm going to throw them into this machine, get this sped up a bit. And we might actually have our other overclockers done. I'm not for sure. No. Okay. We're still waiting on... I'm going to keep upgrading that solar distillation setup, because we're definitely going to need more of them, I think. But I tell you what I want to do. I want to get one of our uncommon runes real quick, and let's go ahead and trade that in for our 2 molecular transformers. I feel like that's a reasonable trade because these things aren't terribly cheap. Oh, there's actually a cooldown on this. Huh. I wonder how long the cooldown is. Well, anyways, we got 2 molecular transformers. If you look here, I mean, you have to make an EV transformer, advanced machine casings, advanced circuits, MT cores, which takes that irradiant glass panes, which takes irradiant uranium, glowstone reinforced glass, thick neutron reflectors, it's copper plates and neutron reflectors. I mean, they're fairly expensive. For an uncommon rune item, it's a very good trade, I feel like. How big are these things? Okay, they're just a 1 block. Alright. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to set up our molecular transformers, actually just right over here. And if we open them up, this is what it looks like. This is actually my first time using these, also, might I add. Never seen these before. I'm assuming they're like a very new IC2 item, but I do quite like them. They're really, really neat. So let's get ourselves then, let's see, how do I want to do this? I'm thinking about one crafter that pumps out to a chest, and then it pumps those items into the molecular transformers, like wherever there's space, like on a round robin, I think would be the best way, because I'm thinking we're going to have like, I don't know, let's actually run this thing and see how fast it would run. I'm assuming it would just, as fast as it gets power, is what I'm assuming would happen. Okay, so we can see, oh my gosh, yeah. This takes a little while. It does take a little while. Okay, well, we can actually speed this up a bit because, of course, IC2 works off packets. So, for example, glass fiber cable can transfer 8,192 EU per tick. This is outputting 1 packet of 2,048. We could have additional MFSUs pumping out packets, and I think that's what we're going to do. So let's get ourselves like 3 more MFSUs. And this might take a minute. Oh, we are out of bronze. That's fine. I can make that with essence. I need to get those crafters set up so that they'll start producing the stuff for us, but I'll try to get that done by next episode. I think instead of there being a speed build video, I mean, there'll still be another one at the end of the week, but I think between this episode and next, that's what I'm going to work on is crafters, setting all of those up, configuring them, and also working on some of the external, like the towers and stuff that we've already built on camera one time. I think I'll work on that a little bit as well. So let's get our 3 MFSUs, because then we could have 3 times the speed, or, 4 times the speed of what we're producing right now. So right now this isn't super fast. We're at 16%. Honestly, I wouldn't mind having like a big wall of MFSUs. That's what I might do. Instead, maybe go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 MFSUs. That might be good. So let's get like 3 more of these as well. Make me tons of MFSUs. Make me tons of them. And then what we'll do is we'll just have flux points on the back of each of these. So we'll go ahead and break this open. And this will be pretty much the wall here. And what I might do, I think. Let me think. What if I put the MFSUs over here? Or not the MFSUs, but the molecular transformers. Instead, put them over on this wall. And we just made them like super fast. That's what we might do. That's something we're going to have to kind of ease into though, because I don't want to just suck all my power out every time that it goes to run that. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let me get... How's that coal coming along? We have 5 coal chunks. That takes forever. One thing that I want to automate real quick is let's start upgrading our turbines. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to go with Indium turbines. Okay? All this stuff's pretty well basic, but we do need the Indium turbine rotor. To make that, we're going to need Opinium cores, and we're going to have to basically tier these up. So let's go ahead and teach it first the Indium blades. Then we're going to teach it the rotor. And then we'll go Opinium core, good. Oh, that takes chorus flower though. That's okay, I guess. We'll go with this for now, because this is actually a bit easier than the vibrant turbines for us right now. I mean, I guess nether stars and benatoite and stuff, that's really not that bad either. Chorus flower is a little bit harder to get in an automated fashion. Unless we got into the phytogenic insulator. But we'd have to make the flux phyto grow to get 150% on the chorus flower. Because one of those basically just gives you back your chorus flower, right? Actually, scratch that. We're not going to go with that turbine because realistically it's a lot more expensive on resources, I think, than just getting like the Manulin or the Vibrant. It's just like 2 nether stars, some benatoite, 5 redstone, super cheap. Whereas this one, I mean, we've got it all automated, but at the end of the day, it's emeralds, chorus flower, which is, I mean, we can automate it with phyto grow, but you also got blocks of diamond, block of emerald, all these blocks of everything. And nether stars, very, very soon, those are not going to be an issue. So, I'll tell you what, give me just a minute. I'm going to go edit some footage while this runs. We're going to get our MFSUs, and then we're going to set up our molecular transformers to be a bit quicker than this. Because really, I mean, this could be a lot faster. I am curious. Let me pop down here and see how our power... That's going to be the main thing is, will our power creation keep up with this? I mean, right now it's running full throttle. And it's draining this out, so... Yeah. I'm definitely going to be setting up additional turbines. So we may look at getting benatoite this episode, because we're definitely going to need more power before I can upgrade those molecular transformers to full speed. I'm thinking like 4 turbines, and then upgrade our production of that stuff, the fluid. So I'll be back in just a second. I'm going to see where we're at on time. Okay, I expanded our solar setup a bit. I think there's... not for sure how many solar distillers. I think it's around like 40 or 50-ish or something. Maybe not that many. There's 40. 40 solar distillers right now, and it's actually pulling in distilled water fairly quickly. And then I went over to my test world for a little bit, and I was playing around just to see what we could do with the molecular transformers, right? Kind of debating, you know, do I want to automate the wither, like in my standard setup, with like block placers and all that, or go with the molecular transformer. And I can say without a doubt, molecular transformer is the way to go. Because we're going to need this for additional things anyways. And then on top of that, it can be pretty much instant. With it'll take a little bit of setup, and something we're going to be working on for the next few episodes. But really, it's not that bad. This stuff's all getting overclocked. It's a bit faster now. And our MFSUs, if we take a look here, we have 3. I think it's working. What's it working on at the moment? Oh, it must have canceled my other... It was supposed to make 3 more, but I think it got sidetracked and forgot what it was doing, so I guess is what happened. I don't know. I'd ordered 3 more, but yeah, it's going to take a little bit of setup. Basically, we're going to need a lot of power generation. That's fine. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to try to set up like 3 or 4 of those turbines and upgrade our fire water, our rocket fuel production. Right now, where are we at on rocket fuel? Pretty good, actually. But let me check the power in our thing real quick. Okay, it's filled back up. One thing I want to do, just because we can, really, is if we take vibrant alloy, let me grab, actually, let me try something real quick. If I grabbed, this would actually change my original setup and make it a bit easier if this works. I don't know for sure, though, if this will work. Let's get, oh yeah, I don't have vibrant alloy, or vibrant essence yet. I need to get those seeds made. Well, that's fine. We'll just go with a wither skull then. And if I pulled off all this glass fiber, and I put a flux point directly onto the molecular transformer and connected it to this network, will it feed power to this? It does. And you'll notice it's actually going up a bit quicker because it's feeding it 8,192 EU per tick. Interesting. So then if I got, say, another, let me get 2 more of these real quick. And this, I don't want, really we're not going to use that other one for a bit. But if I put these on there, it's feeding it decently quickly. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually buff that thing up to where it is just feeding in a ridiculous amount of power, like super fast. And it's going to be creating stuff pretty well instant for us. Like nether stars take like 3 seconds with a fairly small setup. You could keep buffing it up until it's instant, which is probably what we're going to do. I don't know for sure that we're going to do this. Okay, yeah, it doesn't connect straight into the glass fiber cable. So I think what we'll probably do is do the MFSUs long term. The flux points, it's cheaper like in the short term when I don't have the resources to make a whole bunch of MFSUs. But once I have the resources to make a bunch of MFSUs, and really I think I've got it, it's just a waiting game at this point. And it's going to get faster the more overclockers that we get. But honestly, we might end up moving these so I can have like multiple metal presses and have like a line and then have the crafters feed into a chest and make, because I think we're going to need a lot of this stuff, a lot of those plates and stuff as we move forward. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Basically, we're going to have a bunch of MFSUs feeding into like a single molecular transformer that gets all the recipes, because it's only going to be like a couple seconds waiting period for pretty much anything. So it's not going to be too bad. And what we're probably going to do over the next few episodes is work on really buffing up power, like to a crazy point. Maybe not all just back to back, but you know, over the next few episodes, that's something that we're going to be working on a bit. Getting power to a really crazy point, and we are going to do, instead of just having the turbines, we are going to probably be working on the rainbow generator before long. There's a couple things I want to do before we get into that, and then once we get into that, we're going to have to actually do a bit of automation along the way. But really, the rainbow generator is super, super easy to set up. It's super easy to automate it, and it really doesn't use that many resources. And the nice thing is, it generates an absolute ton of power, like a ton of power. So I think that's what we're going to do. It's honestly the best power generation that we've got access to. And so we're going to do a combination of that and solar panels and just all kinds of stuff to generate the power to make this thing like super fast. Because once the molecular transformer is super fast, the rest of everything is like downhill, because this thing makes so many key parts. Honestly, this is decently fast with just the 3 flux points. It is using up, I'm sure, a bit of power off of this. I don't know why I'm coming all the way down there to check it, because I can check it right here. Actually, it's not reading that correctly, so. Yeah, it's steadily going back up, but it is using up a bit of power, so we're going to have to boost that up a bit. So I'll tell you what we're going to do right now, though. We need to get Benetoit, right? And to do that, we are going to need to make ourselves a beneath teleporter. This is actually very, very cheap to craft. There is a quest for this, right? Yeah, right here. Nuclear reactors are considered the best in-game power production. Unfortunately for you, and that's not true. That's not true at all. Rainbow generator, best in-game power production. Unfortunately for you, many of the materials that you will need in order to begin constructing your reactors are found in the Beneath. Beneath is a dark, cavernous dimension where danger lurks in every shadow. Staying in the dark for too long will cause the nasty Gru to come for you. Torches are your best friend in this area as they will keep the baddies at bay. Okay, now this, one thing to note, there is nuclear craft in this pack, and I've actually done a mod spotlight in the past on that mod. It is a little bit outdated now because a lot of things have changed. That is one thing I want to get into within this pack is nuclear craft. Now this is very good power production, but it's legit to set it up. Like, it's not big reactors. It's a lot more work. It's a lot larger scale. We are going to get into that. That's one reason I built the base as large as I did, is because I plan on getting into nuclear craft a bit for power production. So that's another thing that we'll probably start looking at in the very near future, but I also want to get the rainbow generator because it's fun to automate. It's super easy, generates a ton of power. So I'm probably going to, we will do the quest for big reactors, but I'm not planning on doing big reactors in this pack. Big reactors, big turbines, both of those are actually crap power compared to, especially the rainbow gen. Nuclear craft will be pretty good, but the rainbow gen is going to be the best of the best. Honestly, draconic reactors don't even compare to rainbow gens. But okay, so let's get our beneath teleporter. And oh yeah, I guess I've got one. Did I have a quest for that or something? Oh yeah, right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this thing up, and I'm probably gonna want I'm gonna put it, actually I'll put it over in our teleport area. That would make a bit more sense. So what we'll do is we'll set it like right here, because you have to stand on it. Or no, you right click it. Well, that's fine. But we'll go ahead and warp on over there. There we go. And basically, we're going to need Benetoit. Now I know some of that stuff is spawned in the nether, but it's not Benetite, it's something else that spawned here. I just want to have a quick look around this and see, like, there's aluminum from thermal. There's, okay, here we go. This is what I want. And I think this stuff only drops like one at a time. So that's a thing. Anglicite is another one that we're going to need. This dimension does drive me insane, but the nice thing is, this stuff seems to be pretty common here. Like, fairly common. I mean, look around, and there's anglicite, there's some benetite, there's anglicite, there's benetite, anglicite. Like, it's everywhere. Like, super common. And so what we might do is set up, like, some miners. Or not some, like one miner. Maybe next episode or something, and start getting a bunch of this for making a bunch of turbines. And I'm actually going to look here in just a second once we leave this area. Oh, that's nether iridium. Which I don't need that. It's like the last thing that I need. Okay. But I am curious to see what this stuff is actually used for, like what all mods we're going to need this stuff for, right? So let me, where did I come in at? Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and mark this as home. Let's check this out. So anglicite is used to make reactor casings, dark titan relics. From titan trinkets. What's this for? Airship engine components Mark II, critical airship engine parts. No clue what that's for, because I never had to make it for airship stuff. Okay. And what about this Benatite? Wither Titan Essence, Dragon Titan Catalyst. That's used to make angel rings, chunk loading wards, electric jetpacks. I love how expensive chunk loaders are in this pack. Like, it's just so expensive. Wither Titan Essence is used to make those top tier turbines. It's funny because like the heat exchanger, the syngas producer, and the steam turbine controller. Like the gas turbine's the only one that doesn't require this. It's bizarre. And I guess we're going to probably make our turbines out of manulin. So let's go ahead and get that set up. And you can change out your turbines however you want. Like you don't have to change out all 50 at once. You can change them out one at a time, so I could have like, you know, mix match of different types of turbines and stuff. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with the manulin turbines, in fact. Eye of Redstone, I don't think that's automated, so we're going to go ahead and grab that. And then this, we're going to go ahead and grab that. Okay. Honestly, it's a lot cheaper, I feel like, than the other turbines. Let's see, I don't think Eye of Redstone. No, it's not. Okay. And so then what I can do is I can grab, say, a bit of our... Do we not have manulin essence seeds? Okay, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to get some real quick. Okay, there we go. And let me pop on over, and I'll go ahead and get one of these. There we go. Okay, now let me pop over and get this planted. I'm going to have to get this manulin started. Like right now. Okay, I got our manulin started, and the next thing I want to get is, let me get 2 more uncommon runes. And then I'm also going to want a quarry, no, not a quarry, a quarry, fortune quarry card, and I'm also going to want a flux point, and then an ender chest, okay? One of those, and then I'm going to want, let's see, an RF Tools filter. This right here, the storage filter module. We'll get one of those, and then I'm going to want something with silk touch. We've got a silky jewel right here, and do I have some kind of like tinker's pick somewhere by chance? Yes, we have this one, which doesn't seem to have fortune on it. I'll just put silk touch on this, that's fine. So that, there we go. We now have a silk touch pick, which this is just for a couple uses that we'll need it for. And then we're going to pop on back over to the beneath. Deep damp. Alright. And let's go ahead and turn this quest in while we're here. We get 2 potions of night vision and 64 torch arrows. And then they want us to get 64 of the benatoite and 64 anglicite. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop on down to like right... go on a bit farther down, I guess. I've got cobblestone on me. That's perfect. Okay. And let me go ahead and light this up a little bit here. And we'll just come out a little ways. Yeah, like right in here will be fine. Go ahead and light this up. And I want to set up our quarry. This is our first time actually... Well, we use it for the blood magic stuff, but... Alright, that'll work. Right here. And let me build a little wall around this, because these guys are going to drive me absolutely insane if I don't. So there we go. We kind of got like a little safety wall here. Now the next thing that I'm going to want to do is, let me turn in this right here. I want another builder block. So we'll go ahead and grab that. And of course we don't have space for everything. I'm going to set the builder up right here. Okay. And then let me get this. And we're going to throw these potions of night vision, these torch arrows and stuff in there. I don't have any use for those. That. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up a storage filter module. Let's go ahead and we need to get ourselves some anglicite and benatite. So there's that. Is there anything else that I want here? I really think it's just these two things. I don't think there's anything else that really spawns here. Okay, so our storage filter module, let's go ahead and configure this. We're going to say anglicite and benatite. Whitelist these two items. Or dictionary, MBT, damage, don't match. Okay, yeah. Alright, so just those two things. And we're going to go ahead and put this into here. Mode whitelist, and there we go. And then what we're going to need to do is give this thing power. And we'll just set that up. We're going to say network, primary power network. There we go, it's got power. Alright, so next up, let's set an ender chest just right here on top. And then we'll put the lever here so we can give it redstone in just a second. And now we just have to set up the shape card. And we are going to say that you're going to quarry everything. We need to define an area here. And I always forget to shift right click the builder first. Alright, so that. And what I want you to do is I want you to quarry everything from this point all the way over to here. Let's go down to like bedrock level. I think, yeah, it does have bedrock. Everything over to here. Okay, so we have this massive area that's going to quarry. That's prosperity. We don't need prosperity shards. I think really the only thing we need is anglicite and benatite. Alright, so we're going to put this into here. And let's see a preview of this. So yeah, we are mining everything from this point all the way over. Way over here to this point. And, oh, this is hollow. One second, let me fix that. Just realized. We're going to shift right click. Oh, it is solid box. Okay, never mind. I thought it looked hollow in the thing. Alright, so massive area, and basically it's filtered to only mine anglicite and benatite. And we are going to say keep running with redstone signal. And there we go. And we'll go ahead and start this thing up. And right now it's going through, and it should be mining if it comes across anglicite or benatite. There we go, there was some anglicite. And there's benatite. And yeah, so awesome. That is now working. I'm going to go ahead and chunk load this. And now we should be able to head back home, and it should keep running. So it's going to mine out that huge area, and by the time it's done, we'll have enough, probably enough anglicite and benatite to make a fair few turbines, I imagine. Just, yeah, see? Like, what is this? Like, instead of, like, standing on it and it working more like a nether portal, it's, like, all janky, and you right-click it, and then you get teleported into blocks, and it's terrible. And there's 63 anglicite now. Like, we found, I guess, a big bunch of them, 65. So it's mining right now. It's mining and finding stuff. I'm noticing that anglicite seems to be a little bit more common than benatite, which benatite's the one that we really need. I'm just kind of curious, like, this only makes reactor casings and dark titan relics. What does it take to make turbine? Turbine housings, These are turbine housing cores. Turbines aren't any more expensive. They're pretty easy. It's just the reactor itself is the more expensive part. So I wish it would get that last little bit of benatite so we could turn that quest in. And the nice thing is it shouldn't be really draining like any power at all, because it's just scanning for the most of the time, and it's really only mining up blocks and using up any kind of power whenever it finds those, you know, the benatite and the anglicite. So, and really quickly, let's see where we're at on manulin. We've got 44 pieces of it, so that's not too bad. We just need a few more benatite, and then we can turn that quest in. Oh, there we go. 64 benatite. Okay. And they're going to give us 2 reactor access ports. And then they want us to get the forge lexicon. Okay. Well, we'll continue on with that in a future episode. Like I said, I don't plan on really going too crazy with big reactors. There's not a whole lot of point in it, I don't feel like, with the other stuff that's in the pack. But we'll see. We'll play it by ear. I mean, I've got to double check the configs, make sure the rainbow generator still produces standard power, and then take a look at the nuclear craft. That's the stuff that I plan on doing, because big reactors is in every single pack. I always tend to do big reactors. Of course, rainbow gen is, but I think I've only automated that in my direwolf series thus far. But I think the rainbow generator or nuclear craft is going to be fun. I'm excited to start getting into that, honestly. Let's go ahead and order ourselves, like, maybe... Missing a bucket. Okay. Can we get like 4 of these by chance? No, we're low on Indium. Okay. Well, let's get like 3 of these then. Now or not Indium, manulin. 2 of them. We can make 2. Awesome. That's a good start. It's gonna make some iron plates for us. Not a whole lot of them. It's fairly cheap. Honestly. Oh my gosh, I gotta go in and change all the recipes. I forgot. This probably had ore dictionary. Okay, I think it's just the blades that have to be changed. So now let's try and order 2 of these. There we go. So we got our first 2 manulin turbines. Awesome. Awesome times. And let's just really quickly change these out, and then we're probably going to end up the episode because I know it's about wrapping up point. But like I said, you can change these out just as you wish. I'm going to go ahead and pull these off, and then we'll replace them with manulin. So the ones we were using only produce 200 RF per tick. These produce 500 RF per tick. And you can see right here we have our 50 turbines, and now we can produce 10,600. So there's a 600 RF per tick jump for changing out those 2 manulin, or those 2 turbines. So, and then we can just add those as we go. And I don't know if I'll go ahead and set up the first or the second turbine first and then change over the first one, or change over to full manulin on the first one and then, I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to work on that between episodes. I'm also going to work on setting up our crafters so all that production's automated. I might change out the conveyor belts for conduits from thermodynamics as well. If I did, I'll show you really quickly. I mean, this stuff's not really expensive. But if we take a look over here, we could just use like impulse item ducts. Honestly, item ducts might work as well. Out of curiosity, did they remove the... Nope, they've got the opaque impulse item ducts. Awesome. So, I might change that over for the opaque ones. That way that tower is not nearly as laggy. Then we can put cloches in the basement and finish filling that out, and it's a little bit easier to move in and out of there. So I might do that. I kind of wanted to show you guys the conveyors, but now I'm like, okay, I think I want to get rid of the conveyor belts, so... we'll see. But anyways, I'm going to end it out there. Next episode, I think we're going to start working on a little bit of the projects that we need to make this molecular transformer really crazy. Okay? And we'll probably work on a little bit of IC2, but we will be working on I don't know if we'll start looking in towards rainbow generators, or we'll start working in towards nuclear craft, or which one we're going to do next. I'm not 100% sure what we're going to be doing next episode, so but it'll be something along those lines, I think. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay up to date with when new videos come out. And until next time, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.